Well, RVing was considered a cheaper way to live, a cheaper way to travel. Um, but I don't know if it ever was, if you calculated all the cost. But I definitely can say, due to recent price increases and popularity with van life and RV life, there's no way, if you do the math, that van life is cheaper than standard life for most people. And we'll use numbers related to new vehicles, because if you're going to buy used vehicles, there's so many other variables, meaning that projected maintenance cost. Every used vehicle that you purchase is in a different condition with different mileage, and it's a little bit of a crapshoot. So if you take the data, the number from new vehicles with new warranties, it's more of a static projection of cost, right? So if you just bought a van off a lot like a Dodge ProMaster, right now the base model for just a van, not an RV, is $50,000. The lowest priced official Class B motorhome camper van is around $100,000 just to buy the basics. The average Class B motorhome is probably around $125,000 to $150,000. The luxury Class B RV vans are $200,000 and up. So whether we're talking about $50,000 for a vehicle that you still have to project cost to build out, whether we're talking about $100,000 for the base model Class B van, $150,000 for the average price camper van. I mean, these numbers are, you can't afford a home. The average home in America is $400,000. Like you can't say, well, for that cost you could buy a home. Now, in some places, like in the middle of the country, you may be able to buy a home for that. That's fair. But you can certainly say, instead of spending $100,000, you could put that money towards a down payment for a house, and, you'd have an appreciating asset, etc. Because a lot of these camper vans, you're putting 10% down or 20% down. You're financing it for 20 years. So it's not like you don't have a mortgage. You have a 20-year mortgage on a vehicle that's going to go down in value. What's that vehicle's worth after 20 years compared to a house that you buy today, and what that's going to be worth 20 years from now? So, van life's not cheaper. Okay. Again, if you're going to talk about used vans, what are you buying it for? What's the condition? How much you're going to put into it? How much do you move? And whether you have a new van, used van, where are you going to park? In a Cracker Barrel? In what's that new place that like everyone's going crazy? Buc-ee's, which is like a Walmart for gas stations. Guys, Buc-ee's is not home, okay? I mean, I don't care about a squirrel and a buffet at a gas station, guys. I mean, Buc-ee's is like, I don't know how people would get excited about Buc-ee's, but that's what Buc-ee's, Cracker Barrels, the gyms, and I've lived this lifestyle, so I don't want to talk down to it, okay? But I don't want to invest too much in it. It's tough, man. But again, you got to spend your money somehow. Everyone spends their money different. This is just a video to make you think. You spend your money however you want. I want to repeat that. You spend your money however you want. And you live however you want, as long as you're not hurting someone. But if you're not parked on your property, just don't be upset when someone tells you to leave. That's fair, okay? I'm not telling you have to live a certain way, but what I'm saying is if you don't own the property, then, if someone asks you to move, you have to move, okay? It's just part of the game. You accept it. You accept that you're going to spend $100,000 or $50,000 or $20,000 or whatever grand you're going to spend on a vehicle, and you're going to park somewhere. And, it's okay to park there one night, 2 nights, but if you're going to park there forever, you're going to have a problem. And, I don't know. Look, everyone's different. It's just something to think about. That's the problem since the beginning of my channel. I made videos. It's very hard with RVs, man. And that's why I bought a home base before I bought an RV. And as I buy RVs, I realized, look, a lot of them are junk. People have been saying that since the beginning of time. The Class Bs, I'm not going to say they're junk, because at the very minimal, they're a vehicle that you can use as a vehicle, but they're not a fuel-efficient vehicle. They're not a cheap vehicle, and they stand out. They're not a stealth vehicle, okay? Even the stealth mode Overland, that's not stealth, okay? You see a 200 grand, Sprinter van parked in a, Planet Fitness. There's nothing stealth about that, man. So van life's not cheaper. There's no way. If you do the math, if you're being honest with yourself, it's a different lifestyle. That's a fair assessment. You could say you enjoy the nomadic lifestyle more. That's fair. But it's very tough to say you're going to save more money. Now, again, there's exceptions, right? Like, if you have a remote job, or if you're one of the few people that have made a lot of money off van life videos, if, you're living off investments. But for the average person, it's tough. Okay, but again, don't try to be average. Try to be above average. But be honest with yourself. What are your results in life? Look at your results financially, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, every way. So, it's okay to shoot for above average. It's okay to try to be the exception, not the rule. But you have to be honest with yourself. What's your track record? And, how do you project to get there? Because it's not, when you're young, you kind of avoid the numbers, and it's like you avoid, you think about, well, debt, I'll just pay it up, But you can't escape the math of life, the data of life. I mean, eventually it's a reality that, how am I going to overcome this? And, yes, creativity, will, those are all things that can help you achieve uncommon success. But to sustain uncommon success, you need a level of base foundational data. That's because once in a while you can hit a home run, right? I remember in Little League, I was like, I wasn't even hitting that good, but I just closed my eyes on one pitch, I hit a home run. But it wasn't sustainable. It was a miracle. And that's, like 1 year you may have a great year. You're an entrepreneur, you have a side business. 1 year you have a great year, you're trading crypto. But what's your track record for the past 10 years? Sustainability. That's the key. And that's what van life, especially if you run the numbers, I mean, unless you're exception, very, to some extent, unsustainable as far as financial long-term success. With a level of exception, I'm leaving room for individual circumstance, but just sharing some thoughts. If you appreciate these thoughts, click the thumbs up. Share the video, subscribe, it's free. Thank you to my members who support the channel. I truly appreciate you. Click that super thanks if you want. Keep showing up. I'll see you next video.